Hey, what's up, Thunder fans? This is Zack and Craig back for another episode of Thunder Things with the Thunder guys. We're super excited to be here, as always. I know I say that pretty much every time. That's kind of my go-to opener, I guess you could say.
Favorite day of the week.
So, anyways, we're trying out some stuff here, trying to get the old technologies rolling in the right direction. But
technology sucks.
Man, it does. It can be so frustrating. So frustrating. So whether it works or it doesn't, then we will just roll with what we've got. And either way, we're going to have a good time talking Thunder basketball. So, Craig.
What's up?
Thank you for being here in my humble abode.
Oh, you're welcome, man.
I'm super excited to... I always have a good time when you come over. Whether we're doing the show or we're just watching the game.
I'm glad I could make it on time.
We're just
this week.
Kicking back, cooling, you know.
Doing the thing.
All right. It's always fun. So, let's go ahead and I guess I shouldn't turn away from the mic when I'm talking, huh?
Probably not.
Let's not do that. So,
start off with the weekly recap.
Yeah, let's jump in.
Cool. Hit Denver first, right?
No. Did I get these in the wrong order? You got them in the wrong order.
Ah, man. Washington.
Last Tuesday, Washington Wizards. Yeah, I didn't get to watch very much of this game. This was the one that was on TNT, and I'm rolling.
Oh, yeah, you were struggling with
the YouTube TV subscription, so I don't have... I don't have TNT. So, I'm going to try to watch it tonight. I definitely want to watch it tonight. Warriors games are always... Obviously, those are some must-see basketball.
I guess you could just drive over to my house.
I've got a way to watch it,
okay.
Actually.
All right.
I've got some things in the works. I put something together, and it should work out all right. So.
Yeah, I was just telling Zack before we started the show, I need to start taking better notes of... Like, I write the recap, but then I always, delete them from my, notes, and then I'm like, a week later, I can't even remember these games. But,
For sure.
It was a fairly weird night. Thunder could really... the offense in the first half wasn't terrible, but then the second half, only putting up 42 points. Hard to win games.
Especially when... I just never understand why we struggle offensively with the group that we've got.
Yeah, and the defense wasn't bad in this one, only giving up 102 points. That should be enough for this team to win. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But anytime I wonder what the Thunder's record is when they don't score 100 points. Probably not good, right?
Probably not good. I remember maybe one or two wins where it was real low score overall, but that was just because we played ridiculously good defense.
Right. Yeah, and defense has been an issue lately. I think we're going to talk about that later on. Paul George, this was a game he shot 50% from beyond the arc. I was frustrated that, here's Paul George shooting 4 out of 8, and then Carmelo Anthony's 2 of 12. You know what I mean? That's a game where Melo's got to go back to deferring to the other guy.
Right.
Westbrook only took 4 attempts from beyond the arc, which is good. We don't ever like to see him taking many more than that. Yeah. But he only shot 5 of 18, so every Thunder starter was in the negative. So
not a whole lot of guys were... it's nice to see Raymond Felton, Alex Abrinas even in the positive plus-minus there, and Patrick Patterson, but obviously not enough to get it done if every single starter is going to be negative. And especially, I look at the fact that Terrence Ferguson, he's really not... He's getting the start, but he's not getting a lot of play time.
Yeah.
And he's still having really bad plus-minuses. And obviously, he's playing with the 4 best guys that we have out there. So you can't pin all that on him. It's just... It's an unfortunate happening that we were getting off to some slow starts. We're not getting done what needs to get done.
A lot of slow starts lately.
So, very frustrating.
Can't happen tonight.
Yeah, if you have a slow start, you're going to have a quick finish because the Warriors will just do you in like that.
I think there was some officiating issues in this game as well. Tony Brothers was the head official.
I don't like that guy. I don't know if it's because his last name's Brothers and I can't trust a guy with a last name like that or what it is, but I'm not a fan and I don't know what it is about him.
I can't. One of our friends our Twitter friends tweeted during the game, "Don't forget that Tony Brothers is the lead official tonight." And I was like, "How could we possibly forget that?" Like,
wait, tonight?
No. I'm sorry. During this
okay.
game, yeah, he tweeted it, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't forgot. Believe me, he blows his whistle every time he gets the opportunity."
And he makes it known.
He makes, yeah,
with his neatly trimmed little mustache.
If he would trim his eyebrows the way that he trims his mustache, maybe it would be you'd be able to see better. But
yeah.
Anyways, enough official hating here.
Moving on to Denver. Thursday night, Mile High City.
Gave up 40 points in the first quarter.
If you tell me we're scoring 33 points in the first, I'm probably feeling pretty good about where we're at. And then you find out we give up 40, and that's just el terrible. Westbrook had his second 2020 game of the year with 20 points and 21 assists, but he did not shoot well at all. 7 for 18. And, I mean, this was a brutal, brutal ending for us. We're down by, I think it was like 6 with 24 seconds left. Maybe I'm thinking of another game. We were down, to say the least. Paul George hits that 3. With
ties. It was like 1.4 seconds
1.4 seconds left, and I'm thinking, just play defense.
No, that's way too long.
Just play defense. And what happens? And I actually, I'm going to save my big stuff for my rant, because I'm going to go on a defense rant here in a little bit. But I had a lot of disagreement, a lot of pushback from followers on Twitter about whose fault it was. Okay? And were you able to watch this game?
Yeah, I watched it from home.
The final shot, Gary Harris. Jamal Murray killed us.
Right. Jokic threw that great pass.
Jamal Murray killed Russell Westbrook. But I'm not even going to touch on that yet. Gary Harris gets open. Easy gets open. Jokic throws an amazing pass. Did not travel while he was out of bounds, by the way. A lot of people were mad about that no call. Apparently, you're allowed 3 feet of space. I've never heard that in my life. I always heard if you had the baseline to run, the ref lets you know. If you're on the sideline, you have to plant, stand still.
Right.
Unless you're Deion Waiters, you can give a guy a little bit of a shove and get away with that. I don't know if you remember that against the Spurs a couple years ago. I know Spurs fans remember. But anyways.
Was it not playoffs?
Or
no?
Yeah, it was in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was a key moment in a key game. And, so that was definitely major for sure. But, anyways, Jokic throws the pass to, help me out here, to Gary Harris. Gary Harris knocks down the shot. And where is the defender? He's down in the paint.
It was Russ. Right?
Yeah, it was Russ. It was Russell Westbrook. And
he closed out a little late.
He fantastic closeout considering he's running from 25 feet away.
Yeah.
But the argument was, Billy Donovan said this, Russell Westbrook said this, and I even understand it a little bit, that he was there trying to help him the lob. And I
because a lob makes sense with that short of time.
It does. Who else was in the paint? Do you remember?
I don't.
Jeremy Grant's on the floor because of incidental contact on a collision. I thought it was an offensive foul. Of course I did. But it was very frustrating.
Of course I did.
I'm just saying. Dude gets laid out, and Wilson Chandler just kind of bounces off of him. I mean, I don't want to get into it. It's frustrating me just thinking about it. But Steven Adams is kind of hanging around in the area as well. And Westbrook, here's the thing. If Westbrook didn't lose his man all the time, if he didn't overhelp and sink into the paint all the time, I'd be a little bit more understanding. But the thing is, Gary Harris runs for the corner, and Westbrook's like, cool, that's a short corner. I can run over there and block a shot. But he's got his back to him. What does Gary Harris do? He slides up to the top. Westbrook turns around, and you see he's got that look on his face, and he runs to close out. And as soon as it's like it's all in slow motion.
Right?
That 1.4 seconds lasted about 5 minutes for me. And I'm just like, a 5 minute long, no, just the whole time. And of course it goes in. That was like Denver's redemption because of what Russell Westbrook did to them last year.
Yeah, it was like that. Like when I went to Bedlam in Stillwater, like I just knew that shot was going in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you watch the floor angle, did you see where the camera was right behind him? Like it was just so like Russ closed out fairly decent, but it was an impressive shot. Like, it was a deep shot. So
it was a good shot. I mean, it went in. To me, any shot that goes in and beats another team, that's a good shot.
This was the game Terrence Ferguson got sick, right? Played the first.
Yeah, he started off, and I guess he was fighting. They said it was a a stomach bug. Very well could have been altitude sickness, which I didn't even know was a thing until a few years ago, but apparently it is. In Denver, you have to be careful. But he was to the point where he was so nauseous that he could not stay on the floor. I'm guessing he was in the back vomiting, probably. You really don't want to see that. Throw that out there in front of 18,000 people. Spew it all over the floor or something. That would be the worst. Yeah. Make me think of like a what was the movie? Pitch Perfect, where the girl's just vomiting all over the place.
Like
and
projectile.
We don't want to see any of that. So Alex Abrinas got a hefty amount of those minutes, and I mean he actually did decent. 4 of 7, scored 13 points. Terrible on defense. And that's just kind of been his thing. Yeah, El Terrible, si senor. Very frustrating effort from him. But when it came down to it, they just made plays. I mean, they had 3 guys that scored at least 25 points between Jokic, Jamal Murray, who just torched Westbrook over and over and over again. And it was just awful, just terrible effort. Any game where we can manage to score. Let me throw some stats out here for you. 124 points, only 7 turnovers, 34 freaking assists. Okay?
My goodness.
We shoot 52% from the field. All of these numbers, if you give me any one of those numbers and say win or lose, you shoot 52% from the field and score 124 points. Bang, bang. I'll put any money I got in my wallet, I'll put it on.
Which isn't much.
Okay, which is never much, but that's not the point. Okay? If you tell me that we have 34 assists and Russell Westbrook has 21 of them, that's a guaranteed win in my book. There's no way that we should have lost this game. But when it came down to it, the defense was awful. The fact that we outscored them by 12 points in the fourth quarter and still lost by 3.
I messaged you with 2 minutes left. I said, this is setting up for
a
heartbreak.
And I got so mad. I was like, if you were here right now, I'll punch you.
I could see it. Like, I just knew when we were outscoring them so much, and I was like, I know we're just going to get right there and fall short.
Always.
And then, sure enough, look what happened.
Heartbreaker. That's exactly what it was. Anyways, so that was loss number 2 for the week. Moving on to Pelicans at home. No DeMarcus Cousins. Playing in front of the home crowd. This dude... their starting lineup, okay? Drew Holiday, I'm actually a big fan of his. You got Rajon Rondo, who's had every injury in the book. You've got Etuan Moore. Who? Dante Cunningham. Who? And then, of course, Anthony Davis.
I know. And he goes for 43 on
Anthony Davis is...
a thunder killer?
He's a thunder killer. That's the exact phrase that I think I used the other night. He's a thunder killer. He literally murders us. Well, not literally, since I'm an English teacher, but figuratively murders us almost every time we play him. 17 for 34. The dude shot 34 times. Okay?
Well, he had to with the team he was playing with.
Yeah, seriously. He shot over a third of their shots, and he ended up with nearly...
Etuan Moore was 4 of 4 from beyond the arc.
That's... Stuff like that is dumb. And it's stuff like... Okay, Anthony Davis was 3 of 6. He's a 3-point shooter now. All right? You've got Darius Miller. Once again, who? 3 for 5 from 3 off the bench. These are the kinds of numbers why we're losing games. It's ridiculous. We should not be allowing other teams to knock down shots like that. If we go back and we take a look, okay, take a look at the Wizards. They only shot 7 for 25. Defense was decent that night. But then you move on. The Nuggets were 15 for 38. All right? Then here you've got the Pelicans, 13 for 24. These are numbers that we cannot... You're not going to beat a team when they're shooting that well from 3. It's just almost impossible to do. And guess who we're playing tonight, Craig?
I know.
One of the... arguably the best 3-point shooting team of all time. All time!
I get it.
And if we can't defend the perimeter, it's going to be 140-90 tonight. Okay? And I'm not exaggerating. That is a very... real scenario in my mind right now, and I swear I will go screaming into the night if that's the kind of performance.
I'm not going to work tomorrow if that happens.
Just quit?
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm actually only working a half day tomorrow because Cadence has a doctor's appointment. I need to watch the boys. So,
nice.
Anyways.
So does that mean...
What? Are you going to be home?
I don't work till 5.
Okay,
so...
we might be playing some Xbox.
Okay, cool.
While I'm watching the boys.
Right.
Hopefully Angie's not listening right now.
She probably is.
Yeah, because she's like one of our 3 listeners. But no, I'm just kidding. Anyways,
then the Lakers.
This was the most frustrating loss out of all of them, and I'll tell you why. One, because I had to cover it before the Super Bowl, and I had hosting the Super Bowl party at my house. You came. I didn't have a lot to do, but my wife had a migraine, terrible migraine, so she's trying to rest. I'm trying to cover the game. The kids are losing their dang minds. I'm thinking I got to make the little smokies.
Right.
Angie's got to get the pigs in a blanket rolling. I got to make sure the house is clean, which isn't really like my thing. That's Angie's thing. Okay. And I got to cover this game. And I'm like, it's okay. We're going to blow the Lakers out by 30 again.
And you're going to be done early.
Bing, bang, boom.
Right.
Get done with this recap. Play a little Xbox before everybody gets here for the Super Bowl party. And we're going to have a good night.
I could tell when I got here that you were a little flustered.
I was not having a good day. And this game had a big, big, big reason. Which is dumb. I let it affect me more than I should, and I noticed.
Same.
So first off,
real quick,
go ahead.
From my point of view now, I was working. You had mentioned wanting to go to the game, maybe if you could get free tickets.
Yeah.
I had really had no interest in going to the game.
Hear that? We will take your free tickets.
Always. Then one of our regulars at work offered me a free ticket, and to be honest, I went because the previous times he had offered me, I had said no, and I felt bad, and I was like, this is the time I can go. I was like, you know what, I'll take him. And the same thing, I was thinking, I have to make queso. I was supposed to help Diana make the little pizza roll thingies.
Time out really quickly. Your queso was bomb.
Thank you.
And your girlfriend's pizza roll things were amazing.
She was so nervous to bring those over.
Oh, no. Well, tell her not to be nervous anymore and to bring them over anytime she wants. They were incredible.
She's
the only suggestion that I would have would be throw some more pepperoni and cheese in there because I'm always down for more pepperoni and cheese.
Like a double.
That's just me being
stuff.
greedy, though. They were awesome. So I think I ate 4 of them before anybody else even realized they were heated up.
I was supposed to be over there helping her cook, and then she let me go to the game. And same thing. I was like, hey, maybe we'll be up by 30. I can leave early
and not feel bad about it.
Right. But that didn't happen. And then we lost, and.
Well, and the way we lost was just so frustrating because in the end, let me throw out some numbers here that I'm seeing. Okay, they've got 5 guys that are in double digits. And if you look at the Lakers, there aren't 5 guys on here that, sorry, did I say 5? 6. I'm looking around and I'm figuring out, have these dudes ever even seen points like this before? Right. I don't even know who Josh Hart is. No diss to him. I think he's a rookie. They said he was from, I don't even remember. I've never even heard of the guy. And he goes and he shoots 2 for 3 from 3, 14 points. And he scored several of these late. All right? Dude had 11 rebounds. He's, like, why? Why? Poor K. Okay? Julius Randle and Carmelo Anthony were going at each other. And guess who won that matchup? That would be Julius Randle. Okay, Brook Lopez
was just
he was looking like an all-star. Threes. Yeah, he's just jacking threes and knocking them down.
So he made 4 out of 9.
Yeah, that's. I wish we could get a guy to shoot 4 of 9. If Melo shot 4 of 9, we'd never lose. But on top of that, I mean, just like Russell Westbrook, he had a pretty solid game.
Yeah.
Over 4 from 3 wasn't great, but...
No, but I mean, 15 to 25, we'll take that.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that any day of the week.
Paul George, 10 of 19.
Yeah, another solid game, but we look at... Okay, Melo was 3 of 13. That's not good.
Adams only 5
Besides that, the bench. Nobody really... I mean, Jeremy Grant did a little bit. He had 9 points and 10 rebounds. But besides that, I mean, nobody really did anything. I don't know if, like, maybe Raymond Felton needed some more minutes. He only played 14 minutes, which isn't too out of the ordinary for his average, but we just if you can't get it done against the Lakers, what are you going to get? I don't know what to be happy about right now. This week was abysmal.
Yeah,
literally. I don't know if it could have gone worse. Somebody else could have gotten injured, God forbid, but that's about it. We 0-4, definitely not a way to go. And the way that we lost some of these games was so frustrating. I didn't feel like really any of them was very close or anything like that, and it was just
Well, and I told you when we were on the win streak and then Andre went out and we lost, I was just going to be interested to see how this Thunder team responds.
Right.
And they obviously didn't respond very well.
We haven't responded. We're still looking for
answers. Waiting for an answer. It just, how long did it take us to get going in that first quarter, man? Like, we only lost the quarter by 3 points.
We were down 12-4, and then we had a nice little run to get up. I was like, Okay.
Well, I was wondering if we were going to crack double digits heading into the second quarter.
Well, it was 12-4, and then we just turned it on. And it was like, okay, we're going to bust this open. I can't tell you how many times where I was like, okay, we're going to bust this open. But they would not quit. And the Lakers kept coming at us, and it was just, that was it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, grade for the week was a Z-. The worst possible thing that I could think of. It was awful. So,
we need a better week.
Yeah, we definitely need a better week, and tonight we've got a fantastic opportunity to get something rolling with that, so we're going to try to get that going. Before we do that, we're going to cut to a break and hear a word from our sponsors. For Crossover Radio, Radio with a Purpose, thank you for listening. If you're on the Crossover Radio app, if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in any which way. But anyways, we'll be right back after a quick word from these sponsors.
Tuning in on the tubes.
If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Always glad to have our video viewers as well as our radio viewers. So, almost done with this commercial break for our radio live broadcast. If you don't have the app, Crossover Radio, it's that's just what it's called, Crossover Radio from inside.
It's a cool app.
That's what it is. You should check it out. Crossover Radio
It is
has
what it
shows
is.
going all throughout the week. Lots of cool stuff rolling. Check it out. Tune in. And we're about to be back, so thanks for sticking with us. We are still here. Hey, what's up, Crossover Radio listeners? YouTube, live, sometimes. Viewers. YouTube sometimes. We're on YouTube one way or another. It may not always be live, but we will get on there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Zack and Craig, we are the Thunder guys. We've been doing this for a while, man. Not the radio thing quite as long, but we've been doing the old Thunder guys.
It feels like it's been on the radio for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're more than halfway through our first season of our show.
Do we have to come up with things to talk about during the summer, or are we just taking
I don't know,
a break?
man. We'll do something.
We could talk about other things for
We can
an
talk
hour.
about lots of things.
I'm down.
We will definitely figure it out to keep people interested in Thunder basketball. Because some people just kind of like die off. Like they forget that we have a basketball team. And then they bring it back and it's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. We've got a basketball team.
Bring it back.
So, for sure, though.
Yeah, I'm down. If they let us, if they want us to keep talking on here.
I'm not going to pat our own backs. Well, I am. But I'm going to say they want us. I feel like we've got
You're
solid...
confident.
We've got some solid radio personalities. As long as I don't get distracted by the technologies that I'm always trying to run over here, it seems like. If I could get this down to a T, I would feel like I'm a boss.
What if we had a technology person
Man, then someone would be trying to get paid. And it's
we don't got time for that.
Yeah, we're working for free 99 over here. We don't have time to pay somebody more than that. So we're going to go ahead and jump in.
Get an intern.
Get an intern. Make him sit quietly in the corner. Just run stuff. Better not mess it up. That'd be funny. We could bring them on for their own 3-minute segment. Your 180 seconds is up.
Yeah.
You're done.
Have him get his coffee.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That's how you know you've made it when you have an intern.
Seriously. I just want like a person. I want like my own personal Siri, like a real person, and I can just speak things out loud, and that person has to write them down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like, and not the Siri chick. I've got the English dude. You know? The
really?
Dude from the UK.
Yeah.
He's on there, and I think part of it is because I get mad when Siri doesn't understand me, and I don't want to get mad at a girl.
So you like change it to the.
So I change it to the dude,
so
and he's got an accent. Because then I feel like if I get mad at him, like if he were a real person, like he might fight me and he could defend himself, and then I don't feel as bad for getting mad.
This is your one time a week on the show where you just start completely going.
I know, I'm rabbit trailing.
It'd be
but
cool.
it's
Have
because
you ever
I'm
watched,
already ready.
Have you watched Rules of Engagement? No, you haven't.
No. I know what it is.
Russell has his own personal assistant named Timmy, and he just does everything. He like.
Is he the Indian guy?
Yeah. Oh, he just treats him like crap and I don't even know. It's funny.
Because he can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get some music rolling. Oh yeah, there it is.
Is it my music?
It's your music.
Yes.
It's that time of the week for Craig's top 5, and last week we did Craig's top 5 UFC fighters, MMA fighters. Sorry, just to clarify, there's more than UFC.
I think they all played it. They all fought in the UFC at one point or another.
And this career, we're gonna hear from Craig's top 5 boxers. And this I will be far more clueless about.
I don't know. I think maybe.
I bet I'll know some of them, if maybe most of them.
I bet you know every name on this list.
Okay. Thanks for having trust in me.
I think you do.
So, go ahead.
All right, starting out with number 5, I got Sugar Ray Leonard.
Of course.
Yeah. Loved the dancing, the distractions. He was like really, I wouldn't say the first, but he was more of, make you miss, make you feel like a goof, and I like that. I like to watch people get embarrassed while they're fighting.
It's part of the game.
Part
of the sport.
I like to think that if I was a fighter, I'd be that kind of fighter, always trying to embarrass.
If I was a fighter, I could at least avoid a punch.
Some fighters, their best defense is just taking punches.
I just don't think my jaw's that strong.
I don't either.
Like I've got a cracked tooth right now, and it hurts a lot of the time. And I'm just thinking, if I'm like, ow, like, what am I gonna do if I actually get hit in the face?
I know. Those guys hit so hard.
It's gonna make me
like. Have you seen the?
I
know we're going back to UFC here, but have you seen the video of the UFC fighter like doing 50% on a grown man, and he just knocks him backwards?
No.
Like this isn't some scrawny dude. This is like a big 200-pound guy. And the UFC fighter throws 50% of his strength, and it's just like, just blows him backwards. So it just puts it into perspective of how hard these guys hit. So anyways, number 4, Muhammad Ali.
Oh, yeah. The greatest.
Gotta be in there. The GOAT. I love, my favorite clip is when he's just chilling on the ropes. And he's
just kinda, dodging everything.
And then he like does a little hip move. Yeah.
Does a little dance. That's totally his
personality. Then I'm more modern here. Number 3, I got Canelo Alvarez.
Okay.
You watched him fight a couple months ago.
Right.
I like him because he was only, I think, 22 when he fought Floyd Mayweather. Gave him a really good test, and I really feel like if he'd have been a little older, he would have been the one to beat Floyd.
And Floyd wouldn't give him another shot, right?
No, of course not. Why would he? Because
he recognized.
Yeah.
And he ran away because that was his method.
So then number 2, I have Manny Pacquiao, who his status is to be determined, I guess. I think he should hang it up.
Either way, he's smiling.
Yeah, he's so happy. Always so happy. He turned down a rematch against Jeff Horn, because he had like senator duties to do or something.
Yeah, he's like a boxer / basketball player.
He owns a professional, and he just plays when he wants to play on the team. And then he's really an interesting guy with all the different things he does. So, and then my favorite number 1 is Roberto Hands of Stone Duran. I love Panama. He's from Panama.
I was gonna say he is from Panama.
And connecting my 1 and 5, Roberto Duran is the only fighter to beat Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime. Nobody else beat him until he was, had retired and then come back and fought at a heavier weight. So that was, that's part of why I like him. I liked his attitude. I liked how he helped the people of Panama with his profits. He opened up his house basically as like a buffet for the starving to come in and eat. He let people sleep there.
Well, I did not know all that.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And then my honorable mention would be Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson.
No Conor McGregor?
Man, I meant to make a joke about number one, and I forgot to put it in here. I was going to say the number one, I was going to say Conor McGregor, but man, darn. So yeah, that's my top 5 for the week.
He's got that 0-1 all-time rating.
I run boxing.
Yeah. Anyways, solid.
By the way, a credible source in the UFC today confirmed that Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor are in talks for a UFC bout.
See, Angie sent me a link that said that the details were going to be released in just a few hours. And I was like, man, there's been rumors like that going around for a while now, but nothing's really solid. I hope that Floyd steps into the octagon.
I do too, and I hope Conor just toys with him.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want him to knock him out. I want him to pop his little head off,
submission.
Like mount him, get on his back and just rear naked choke him. I would rather see that than a knockout.
I don't know. I just at least get a couple knockdowns.
Oh yeah, he will. Because here's what's gonna happen. There's I guess this is probably what the boxing fans thought when we thought that Conor stood a chance.
Yeah.
But they're boxing fans are saying, well, Floyd would be able to stand up with him. If it was only punching, sure.
Yeah.
But Conor's gonna whip one of those.
And with bigger gloves.
You know how Conor comes out with that spin push kick? Yeah, that's gonna happen right out of the gates. And what is Floyd gonna do when that happens?
He's gonna go.
He's not gonna know what to do. Yeah. Or the minute because those guys kick the knees and hyperextend your knee. The minute that happens, he's done. And so I would like to see Conor do that for a couple rounds and then at the end finish him off. So, anyways, back to basketball.
I'd like to see him full mount and just do the hockaloogie right down in his.
Right down his Wet Willie.
Yeah. We're getting off topic.
Yeah, we are.
Let's go ahead and move on here. Let's talk some trade deadline, man. It's coming up on Thursday. There's some rumors floating around, and that's the thing. But before we talk about any of this, for our listeners, we are not what I would call a news breaking source. We just don't have...
One day.
Right now, we don't have those connections. We report whatever news we can get our hands on, and we cover it with... we really aim to have a high level of integrity and to report facts. And there's a lot of... Yeah, get your facts straight. There's a lot of rumors that float around and stuff like that. And I just don't buy... Until it's happening, I just don't buy it. So, with that precursor being laid out there, let's talk some rumors.
I don't know any rumors.
Oh, well,
I haven't been on Twitter.
Well, you texted me about Rodney Hood.
Yeah. That was something.
Who dropped 30 points last night, by the way. So, there's that. But I'm going to throw some names out there. These are all names that have been linked to the Thunder in a rumor of one form or another. Which, can I
give you a yes or no?
Take with a grain of salt. Yeah. Well, that's what I want to do here. I want to talk about them. Now, first off, since you heard about Rodney Hood, you probably thought about it at least for a little bit. Thoughts?
Yes.
You realize we could have drafted him.
Yeah, I know.
He was 2 spots behind Mitch McGary in that draft.
Old Mitch.
Mitch McGary.
Woo! I love that dude. Man.
We really missed the target on that one.
Yeah, I wonder where that ranks with our worst draft. Is that the worst?
I don't know. The Coltrane.
Oh, wait, isn't he playing somewhere else now?
He was.
Was he with the Kings?
Timeout. Lazar Hayward. I don't even know if you remember him.
No, I don't.
He was bad. He wore a headband. He was literally, when he would get on the floor, everybody would say, this guy has... Listen, Kyle Singler made this guy look foolish. This guy made Kyle Singler look like White Mamba. Okay? He was bad.
I still think Cameron Payne was a bad draft pick. Because we could have had Sam Decker.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Sam Decker's not great, but he's better in Campaign.
Well, but we don't have Campaign now.
I'm just saying, I feel like Sam Decker would still be on this team.
No, he would have been moved in a trade piece. For sure. Just like Campaign was.
I don't know.
I don't see his role on this team. Maybe like at the end of things, but I feel like he's the kind of guy who's easily movable. But I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Anyways.
He's just streaky. I want consistency right now.
Rodney Hood.
But Rodney Hood, what do you think? Scoring,
I don't
yes,
think we would need his 30 points a game. I said we need defense.
No, that's like his third 30-point game of the season. It's not. He's a decent defender.
I'd rather have a purely defensive-minded player.
Okay, well, that leads me to Avery Bradley. Traded from the Pistons to the Clippers, but there's still talk that he may get moved again because the Thunder are interested. So my thing is, the dude is small. He's severely undersized, and he's not a great scorer. People say, well, Andre Robertson's not a good scorer either. Avery Bradley's not on the same level of defense. Now,
Avery Bradley's not going to I think Andre can guard 1 through 4. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Bradley would be able to do
Bradley
the same thing.
can guard 1 through 2.5. And that's clearly me making a joke because he's not a big guy. He's not a strong guy. And that's okay. He's quick, but like he's not going to be able to guard like a I don't know.
Kevin Durant.
Oh, for sure. Any type of small forward.
It's not a funny name.
It is
these
a
guys who are
funny
like 6'10", 6'11".
Yeah, like you've got small forward and then power forward, and it's like
basically
how funny is this? Carmelo Anthony is our power forward.
Yeah, I feel like small forwards are in better shape, like physically, than power forwards. Like their forwards are like about the same size.
Power forwards are just short
50,
centers.
Like 50
a lot of the
50
time.
extra pounds on them. Then, anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
Next name.
So. Yeah, let me pull up my list. I'm trying to think of who I want to tell you about next. Tyreke Evans. For Memphis. He's having a pretty solid season. I don't know much about him. You don't remember? I mean, he was with the Pelicans, and then he went to the Kings, and he was hurt. Then he went to the Grizzlies, and he's had a solid season. Scorer, he's a decent defender. He was dealing with injury for quite some time, and he kind of fell off. He went from like I can't remember if he was an all-star or he was borderline all-star to almost nothing to now he's probably going to demand some decent money next year. So that's my hesitancy there. He's like at a $3 million contract,
right?
Which would be awesome for this last quarter of the season, but he's going to want to pay out, so that'd be a dangerous move. One of your all-time favorite players, Marcus Smart.
I wouldn't mind it. I actually wouldn't.
I think he'd be a fan. And I'm not just... Let's be clear.
I think his attitude would go well with Russell Westbrook's attitude.
I almost feel like Russell would help teach him to control it.
Yeah.
And let me be clear. I'm definitely an Oklahoma State fan. I actually watched... I was at a kid's birthday party on Saturday, so I missed most of the OSU Kansas game. I saw the last 60 seconds, and it was awesome.
I cheered for OSU, all for OU just to lose later on. Anyways.
Texas didn't rush the court, by the way. Yeah. I was thinking of that. But anyways, so I'm an Oklahoma State fan, but Marcus Smart is that guy, I've not really cared for him since he's been in the NBA. Buddy Hield comes to Chesapeake Energy Arena and people cheer for him, and I'm like, and that's because when Marcus Smart comes, I don't like the dude. I don't like playing against him.
Right.
But if he was on our team, yeah.
Okay? I wouldn't mind him.
Here's the thing. He's not gonna put up a bunch of points, but he's gonna get you some clutch buckets. More important than that, he's gonna irritate the mess out of some other people playing defense.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the role that we do on defense. Is just irritate people. We need somebody to push Steph Curry around.
Right.
Because that's what Andre Robertson did so well, shutting him down, shutting Klay Thompson down. Tonight's going to be really interesting.
I feel like his personality would fit, out of the names so far, probably the best with this team.
For sure. Another name, this is the guy that actually I wanted to go after. I don't see how it could happen because I don't know why the Knicks would let him go, but Courtney Lee.
Yeah.
I liked him when he was playing for the Grizzlies. I felt like he's
a bit undersized as well, though, isn't he? He's bigger than Avery Bradley. He's more of the Andre Robertson type, except he's a better scorer. He's not
quite as good of a defender, but he's a better scorer. So that's really what Thunder fans claim they've been wanting for a long time. Andre Robertson goes down. Obviously, a lot of people are changing their tune, so there's that.
Don't start liking him now.
Yeah, exactly. For those of you who don't get that, we had a fan?
I don't know.
No, she wasn't even a follower. She was I'm trying to think of a nice word to use. We'll just say she was a young woman, and she tried to call us out for hopping on the Andre Robertson train as if, I've been all about him for not, like, I did not care for him as much his rookie year, but I always said give him a chance. And then pretty much from his second year, definitely his third year up to now, I've been...
We should have just asked her how many games. How many games you watched this year?
Yeah. I've watched 87.
Our luck, she's like a season ticket holder or something.
Yeah.
We're like, darn. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. Take me to a game then and
Prove it.
Yeah. Two more names. You may or may not recognize these guys. One of them I actually know pretty well because I've been impressed with him. Not so much this year because I haven't seen him as much, but when he was a rookie with the Spurs. Jonathan Simmons. He's a young, I think he's a shooting guard, small forward. I can't even really remember. He came off the bench and he had like some crazy dunks his rookie year, and I was just like, oh, that guy's athletic. And he's kind of been solid this year for the Magic, I want to say. And, well, hold on. They've got some talent. They're just not good. So I feel like I honestly think he would be a good fit. These are all guys to replace Andre Robertson.
It must be so nice, those guys who like get traded from the worst teams in the league to playoff teams.
Please. Yeah, like I'm just trying to make the playoffs,
right.
Last guy. This is he's not a fill-in for Andre Robertson. He's to try to bolster our bigs. Dwayne Dedmon. Okay, he plays for the Hawks. He played for the Spurs. He's had a couple breakout games this season, and he's kind of, he's a decent shot blocker. He's pretty solid around the paint.
Does it mean Dakari would be gone?
Well, I don't know who would want Dakari. He'd just be relegated to the bench permanently. Because here's the thing, he's technically our number 2 center, but he's not playing. Dwayne Dedmon would be that number 2 center, and he would get playtime.
I was going to say, but we already have Nick Collison, who's just there. So like, would we really need another?
Well, but Dakari's already just there. So I don't know how it would work, honestly.
I don't consider Nick Collison a waste of a roster spot.
No, he's a
but I would consider Dakari Johnson just sitting on the bench to be a waste of a spot. Unless you need another body in practice, then that would be the only thing.
Or like the nights where Steven Adams was hurt. I mean, I thought Dakari filled nicely.
Yeah.
I would like to see him get a little bit of playtime, but that's not really happened. So. No. What are you gonna do? But anyways, it is.
When's the trade deadline?
Trade deadline's Thursday.
So
we got 2 days. I think it might be Thursday at like 3 o'clock Pacific time. I don't know. Something like
I can't remember what year it was. It was when we got what's his name? They came from Chicago.
Jeremy Grant? No. That's the 76ers. Dougie McBuckets.
And
who else came from Chicago?
He was a power forward. Why can I not think of his name? He went to the Timberwolves. Taj Gibson.
Oh yeah.
I was in training at TFCU, and it was like 2:30, and I was like supposed to be doing my training, and I'm just like, I've got my you can open up. They have a live following on on ESPN where you can see every update, and I have no idea what happened that day in training. I was just so caught up, and it happened
yesterday.
Didn't it happen right at 3 o'clock, seconds before the deadline?
It was pretty close.
It went through, and I was like, oh.
And that's the thing, Preston's I'll wait.
Right,
and he's cool with that.
It might have been you saying this, but those second round draft picks become more valuable right before.
It wasn't me. I saw somebody say something.
Yeah,
about
and I agree with that.
But it's true.
A week before, you're but then when you're coming down, you don't have any better offers. It's
the thing is, we don't really have a lot of draft picks
ever,
because we're all about trading them away right now. So I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna go and cut to another break. Hear another word from our sponsors. When we return, I'm gonna get a little bit of ranty pants. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the Thunder's defense, which we have touched on. I'm gonna cover some more. I'll keep it brief, and then we're gonna do weekly forecast, talk a little bit about our this week's NBA Power Rankings, our top 10, 3 to watch, bottom 5, and we're gonna be wrapping this bad boy up, scooting out. So, thank you for listening on Crossover Radio, Radio with a Purpose. Thank you for watching on YouTube, and we will be right back after a word from these sponsors. Cha! Thanks for tuning in on YouTube. We are not live, so you will be watching this at some point in the near future. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram at The Thunder Guys. Give us a like on Facebook. Don't miss a single thing that we write. Game previews, game recaps. We got weekly power rankings. We're going to chat about those today, as well as any other late breaking news. It's hard to find time to write like other extracurricular stories, you know? Like if I was a staff writer somewhere and that's what I did, it'd be so much easier just to write about fun stuff and outside of just the news side of things.
Right.
But you know, we do what we do. It is what it is.
We need some extra. We need to expand our staff to do that kind of stuff.
You hear that, YouTube listeners?
If anybody is wanting to write,
send in an application to thethunderguys@yahoo.com. Let us know what you got going down. Writing sample or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll put it in our files. We have files.
We have files. Yeah, we do.
You want to talk about rankings first?
We can do that.
I think that'd probably be good.
We got 40 minutes. Nobody wants to talk to me until I start the radio show, and then everybody starts blowing up my phone.
What up, Thunder fans? Anybody else listening on Crossover Radio, Radio with a Purpose? Thanks for joining us. We have been chatting some Thunder basketball. We've been talking some Conor McGregor randomness. We've been talking, I don't know, a little bit of everything. That's just kind of how we roll. Gotta go with the flow, man.
So whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens,
that's my motto.
Happens. Hopefully it's good happens. But it is that time of the show. And like I've done in the past, Craig, I'm going to give you a second to make any brief comments that you want to talk about concerning the Thunder's defense. And then I'm going to get angry.
All right.
So anything that you want to add that we haven't already talked about?
Nothing. I just knew this was going to happen. I mean,
you pretty much said the season was over, and I got mad at you, and now I'm just like,
starting to believe me a little bit?
I don't know. I really don't want you to be right.
I don't want to be right. You said I think you want to be right more than you want to be wrong.
And
I knew you were just mad because it's just how I feel, man.
And I hear you.
I just more than anything, I'm disappointed that I finally bought into Andre Robertson, and now he's
we're just in a disappointing place right now.
It's tough. I think the Thunder. I mean, obviously they had a good thing going. They were on an 8-game winning streak, and I think this team was finally peaking and playing to their full potential. And we knew there was gonna be an adjustment period without him.
Yep.
But I didn't think we would be losing to the Lakers. Stuff like that. So
it's bad.
That's all I got. It's just disappointing.
I hear you. Well,
something's got to happen.
Something's got to happen. And here's the thing. I've got some ideas.
All right, let's hear them. You playing your music?
I'm about to.
Your grunge music?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is. It's just, this is my anger music. Like, I pictured Dwight in the office in the back of Jim's car.
Yeah.
Losing his mind and freaking out. And here's the thing. Losing Andre was a big blow. But the fact of the matter is, this defense is still capable. They're just not playing up to their potential. And when it comes down to it, and we've said this I don't know how many times this season, Russ has to start. Russ has to start it, and everybody else will fall in line. And Russell Westbrook's effort has not been there. The other day against the Lakers, that was about the worst defensive performance I've seen from him in a long time. And I don't care what stats say. Okay? He's like second in the NBA in steals per game. That's cool. Cool story. It doesn't matter. A big part of the reason because if he was getting those steals was because Andre Robertson was making plays so that Russell Westbrook could then make plays and then go on in. And that's all neat and nice when everything's working out the way it's working out. Dre's not walking through that door. Okay? It's not happening. He's done for the season. He ain't dead, but he ain't coming back right now. Something's got to give.
I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, I'm not dead yet. I feel happy. It's so frustrating because here's the thing. Our defense leads to our offense. Early in the season, our offense was not good. Our defense was fantastic. We stuck with it, and what happened? Wins started stringing together. We started improving as the defense stayed consistent and the offense improved, which is exactly what we needed to happen. Now, the defense has let off, and the offense is starting to let off because the offense is so dependent upon the defense. And if it's not going to work that way, then I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to win games. That's just all there is to it. And it's pathetic because we have Russell Westbrook, Paul George, stop. We should be able to win with that. Throw in Steven Adams, who you think is the second best player on this team. And that's fair. Like, I'm starting to see the side of it. I lost my music. I lost my mojo. Gotta get this going.
Gotta get the music going.
Yeah. So, you throw those guys in, and then you throw Carmelo Anthony. If he would just fit in his role, then we would be okay. But everybody loses. It's like, Andre, one guy gets injured, and everybody loses their minds. And I can't do it. I'm so frustrated. This team is not fun to watch. You know that Denver game? It was kind of fun to watch.
Right.
Because it was wild.
Well, the fourth quarter was
yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, as long as we're going to continue to let up on defense, as long as Russell Westbrook is going to continue to let lesser players beat him, he's got to take some pride. The starters have to take some pride. As soon as they take some pride in this game that we call basketball, the bench is going to... I mean, I feel like the bench has done a decent job, honestly. They have been the reason for some of these comebacks and keeping us in games and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, Russell Westbrook's not getting it done. Paul George, I think a big part of his success was because of Andre Robertson, so he's having to adjust. And it's not as simple as you just fill in another guy. I feel like you don't completely wipe the defensive scheme and start from scratch, but there's going to have to be some change. And honestly, Terrence Ferguson's not getting it done. I love the dude. He's got some fantastic potential. I pray we don't trade him because I want to see what he can turn into once he gains about 30, 40 pounds. But I don't know if he's the guy right now. I don't know if we bring in somebody in the next 2 days to completely replace Andre or if we just build up the bench a little bit. I mean, try something different. Slide PG and Melo up. Put Patrick Patterson at the power forward spot. Put Jeremy Grant at the power forward spot. Especially tonight. You got Draymond Green at power forward. The dude's only 6'7", and this says he's only 15 pounds more than Klay Thompson. I don't believe that.
No, there's no way.
There's no way. He's 10 pounds lighter than Kevin Durant? Are you joking me? There's no way KD's 240 pounds. I'm not buying it.
It's a lot of body.
I'd pick him up. Well, it's long, but I'd pick him up, throw him on my shoulder, spin him around, throw him on the ground, whatever. Point is, everybody's got to buy in. It's a team effort. It's not, listen, Westbrook gets caught hanging off, he gets caught trying to pick pockets, and he gets lost. He gets lost so much. He can be a good defender. Right now, he is a bad defender. He's not good. I don't care what his steals are. He's not a good defender, and it's going to have to start with him. And if we can do that, if we can start to get back to those defensive roots, and obviously it's not going to be the same with Andre Robertson being out, but Russell Westbrook's going to have to lead. And then, next, Steven Adams, he's going to have to show up every single night. He's not had very many good games lately. And it's not all on him. He's been quiet, yeah. That's it. He's done okay, but I want to see the dude explode. I almost want to see him murder somebody.
I'd be down.
Literally.
Oh, not.
If something goes down tonight, I want to see him in the middle of it. I'd be okay if Zaza Pachulia caught an elbow. I'd be cool if old Donkey Teeth got messed around a little bit.
I hope something crazy happens tonight.
Something crazy's gonna happen. I just hope it's not us on the
losing by 50
30-point beating.
Yeah.
Let it be known. It's gonna get wild. One way or another. Whatever way this game goes, it's gonna get wild. And here's the thing. Golden State fans are undoubtedly going to make their way into our mentions tonight.
Yep.
And you're covering the game. If you need some backup, bro, I'm gonna be watching it, so I'll be there. I may chime in from my personal account, actually. because I noticed you've started doing that sometimes, which makes it fun. Because then we kind of get.
Sometimes I just get like comments into my head that I'm like.
You got to put them out there.
Yeah.
The world needs to hear this. So it would be a total Thunder thing to do to come into this game, 4-game losing streak, playing the best team in the league, and just lock in on defense, knock down some stupid shots, and come away with a win. It would also be a total Thunder thing to do to come in and get blown out by 30, 40 points.
Oh yeah, I can see either thing.
We're not that bad, but it could happen. And I'm just telling you, I think we're gonna win a close game. I'm talking like 3-4 points, or we're gonna lose 15 or 20.
Minimum. There's no like in between.
There is no
barely win or get
I don't
blown
see
out.
us. Yeah, if it's a close game,
15 to 20 minimum.
If it's a close game, I think I might like our chances, which is weird because it's in Oracle. Which, by the way, we've lost. We haven't won there since 2013, April 2013. It's been a long time. It's been bad. I think we've actually lost like 12 of the last 14 games against the Warriors in the regular season. That's not counting playoffs, which we've done decent against them. But anyways, moving on. Let's talk some power rankings.
Sometimes I feel like you're yelling at me during your rant. I'm
sorry,
just like,
you're just here.
I know,
and I get excited. I get excited.
Rankings.
Yes.
I'm starting with. Jared loves to send us things when we're.
Don't give him a shout out.
Shout out to Jared.
He doesn't listen to our show.
Shout out to the wild card.
Who doesn't listen to our show?
Wow, what a friend he is.
Yeah, seriously. I hope he does a show on Star Wars, and I will purposely not listen to it.
Anyways,
seriously, put me in a battle of petty wars. I will win, undoubtedly. As students,
even against Russ,
that's not fair. I'd ask to be on his team.
That'd be the ultimate team.
I want to be on his team.
We start with the bottom 5.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go worst to last. Start off with that negativity. Bottom 5. I think ours are really similar here. We both have the Hawks at the bottom, and it's real easy to put them down there because they've got the worst record.
Yeah. Them and Orlando just keep going back and forth for the ultimate. Suck.
I don't know if you saw my explanation. I said the Hawks are bad, but they've won 6 of their last 13. That's kind of impressive, actually.
It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, for them, all things considered, we both got the Magic as the second worst team in the league, with the second worst record. They've won 2 of their last 3. That's a start.
Gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. Third worst, you got Dallas. And I
did Dallas because they've won 2 out of their last 10.
And here's the thing, and I realized you don't even have Sacramento in your bottom 5.
I didn't. I left them out this week.
I put them in.
I put Chicago in because they've also won 2 out of their last 10.
Yeah, Chicago is 2 out of their last what?
They've only won 2 out of their last 10.
Oh, yeah. They're on a 7-game losing streak on top of that, which is.
So that's why I put them in instead of Sacramento.
Yeah, and speaking of Chicago, I just realized I left somebody out in our trade rumors top. Do you know who I'm thinking of?
Another OSU player?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tony Allen. What are your thoughts on him?
I didn't know the guy was still playing in the NBA.
Well, he was playing for the Pelicans, and he's kind of been injured a little bit. But if he can stay healthy,
see, that's the defensive-minded guy that I was talking about.
I'd be totally cool with him.
Wasn't he on
He'd be a veteran's minimum.
Wasn't he on that Dallas team when they beat?
No, you're thinking he was with Memphis for forever.
Yeah. You're right.
And he just completely annoyed the mess out of Kevin Durant. And I hated to admit that at the time. Now
that was a good rivalry back then.
It was.
Memphis, Oklahoma City.
Grind, Thunder. Yeah, for sure. But anyways, the NBA is bad. There are some bad teams. And then at the top, it's really good. But the 3 to watch is maybe my favorite section to look at.
Me too. I like it.
I like to pick like a couple obvious ones and then like a random one. And you almost like to go total wild card sometimes.
I like to pick people that I think could push to make play. Yeah.
And that's fair. So I'm gonna let you talk about yours. You go ahead.
I put Indiana in there because they're in a playoff spot right now. But they're in a position where they're in the same division as Cleveland, who is struggling right now, and I think they're only 2 games out. I think that they could easily, win that division if Cleveland keeps struggling. So
who knows what's going to happen in Cleveland?
Yeah, that's why I put them in there, is because I think they're a team to watch to end up winning that division. I put the Clippers in there still because they're only a half game out of the playoffs. they're trading away everybody, but they're saying that they're not tanking. So I don't really know how those two go hand in hand.
Right.
But they're only a half game out right now. And then I put New Orleans as my last team because they're the team that's a half game ahead of the Clippers. And with the injury, it's just Anthony Davis there now. So it'll be interesting to watch them and see how they respond to that.
I also went with the Pacers. I think one thing that I love about Victor Oladipo is how much respect he has given not just to Russell Westbrook, but to the Thunder organization. He admitted recently, I might have even been like in the last day or two, that had he gone from Orlando to Indiana, he would not be successful like he is. He says he needed that year in Oklahoma City. And he's really paying homage to Russell Westbrook because I really do feel like he means it. And he's sincere when he says Russell Westbrook taught him a lot. And I think that just adds to the argument that people like to play with Russell Westbrook. The argument that they don't want to play with him, that's absurd.
See, Russell Westbrook has more basketball smarts than people like to admit because sometimes it gets lost in how how
wild card.
Seems like he's making in the moment, but he sets things up. He has great court vision.
A lot of times he's thinking way faster
than
even other people are in his actions, and it's like he gets all like that's the only way I can explain it, and it doesn't finish like he'd want it.
People underestimate the amount of basketball knowledge that he actually has. But anyways, go ahead.
I think he's been solid. They're a fringe top 10 team for me. I mean, I may cheer for them in the playoffs in the East.
Yeah,
I'd like to see what they can do. I went ahead and put the Cavs in my 3 to watch. I took them out of my top 10. They're just not doing it for me. I'm not getting any kind of excitement, any feels. They're not getting it done. My other team, it's getting to that time. The other team that I've gotten here, may be surprising because you know how much I don't like Blake Griffin, but I put the Pistons in here.
It's a good one.
They've been so up and down. Reggie Jackson went down with injury. Another guy I do not like. But if the playoffs started today, they would not be in. They're in ninth place. They're at 26-26. Fortunately for them, there's 30 some odd games left, or 30-ish games left to play. And they have not lost since Blake Griffin came in. They've won 4 games with him. They've won 5 in a row, I think it is. I don't know. Like the typical big guys, the typical bigs doesn't really work in the NBA anymore. You're looking at like Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. It worked because DeAndre was pretty athletic, and that was about all he is. Andre Drummond, though, man, he's solid. And he's been putting up some crazy numbers. Even now that Blake's there, it's almost like it even opens him up to be even more dangerous.
Exactly. I was going to say, I think Blake playing with DeAndre Jordan and is where he learned to pass through the lobs. A lot of that's been happening with Andre Drummond. I don't know if you saw Blake threw it from like half court,
which is just insane.
Yeah, it's that a big man can pass like that, and so I think that's going to be quite the duo actually.
Right. So I'm curious to see if that's going to be sustainable, their success or what. I feel like our top 10s are pretty solid. I'm trying to say top to bottom. Golden State, obviously at number 1, followed by Houston Rockets. Those two teams are just they're doing really well. The Rockets are, I'm just not, I don't know. I want to see them in the playoffs. I don't know how well they're gonna play. I think James Harden and Chris Paul are getting a lot of the credit. Clint Capella has been outstanding. And he's another guy that was drafted after Steven Adams. And there have been talks saying that people would trade that Capella's better than Adams. And I definitely don't think side by side that Capella's a better player. I think that he's a benefactor of playing on a better team with more shooters. He's the cleanup guy. He's not there for the glory. He's there to just kind of get things done. And Adams has kind of been that guy at times. But Capella, he's a real solid guy. So that's fair. Next up, our 3-4 are different. I've got Boston, Toronto. You've got Toronto, Boston.
Toronto's been playing better in my opinion lately.
Okay, and that's fair. Boston's on 6. They lost 5 of 6, but then since then they've won 4 in a row. That's why I gave it to them. The Raptors, though, they've been more consistent, and they are definitely.
I think Toronto can take that number 1 spot away from Boston.
I just want to see some action in the playoffs. It's almost a joke that the Raptors are going to do well in the regular season and then tank in the playoffs.
Oh, similar to Houston.
Yeah, that's fair. Or the Clippers.
Yeah, no joke.
But anyways, next up, Let's see. You've got...
I got Washington.
Which is weird.
I think they're
hot right now.
I think not having John Wall is helping them because he's so lazy.
Here's what I said. Since losing John Wall to injury, the Wizards have run off 5 straight wins. I've got them at number 7, by the way. I said, it's crazy to say they're better off without him. But are they?
They are. They're playing with more energy than they've been playing with all season.
I don't know if they're better, but they're finding a rhythm that they did not have before. Bradley Beal is better than John Wall.
Yeah.
I would not have said that before this year.
I wouldn't either.
I'll say that. I just remember, I keep going back to, there was a Wizards fan 2-3 years back that tried to convince me that John Wall was a better point guard than Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
And he tried to pull out like some of those deep stats, true shooting percentages. And I'm like, look at the guys. John Wall is a fantastic player, but Russell Westbrook, don't hate on the Brody. Get out of here. Okay? After the Wizards, you've got the Bucks all the way at number 6.
The Bucks.
I let them sneak in at number 10. You're big on them right now.
I am. I think they're young. They're a dangerous team. They've won 7 out of their last 10, and I think that they're another team that can make the push towards a higher seed in the playoffs.
I'm just gonna say the Eastern Conference is gonna be crazy.
For the first time, I would say the last 2 years, it's like you've had like your clear cut
snore. Yeah,
Cleveland.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so it's nice to see.
I feel like there are a lot of teams that can make noise. So
yeah, it's
the 1 through 8 are gonna be fun.
It's like the roles have reversed a little bit.
Yeah,
like
I could see that. You bumped the Spurs down. Excuse me.
I don't know how they're hanging in there, man. I really don't.
I went back and I looked. In 2018, since January 1st, do you know what the record is?
Is it in the negative?
They're 9-9.
Oh.
They're hanging around. I'll be real honest.
I don't know for how much longer.
I don't think it's going to last.
Yeah.
Which is sad for them and even sad for the NBA. It's good for us because we need all the help we can get. You realize we are 3 games back from the 3 seed. 3.5 games back from the 3 seed.
Think about where we'd be if we hadn't lost 4 in a row.
Right. We are 2 games
from being
9th.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at that today too.
It's super scary. I don't like it. I just want to win, man. Then you've got the Timberwolves. I've actually got the T-Wolves ahead of the Spurs just because I feel like they've been playing better and I feel like they're going to make a push for the 3 seed. I could honestly, what I can genuinely foresee happening as long as the Thunder can clean things up, start winning some games. I see the T-Wolves moving up to the 3, the Thunder moving to the 4. The Spurs dropping to at least the 5. I don't know. The Nuggets have been playing super well, which I've got them coming in at number 8.
That means we'd played the Spurs in the first round.
Ooh.
My thoughts exactly.
Well, let's just not think about that right now. I got the Nuggets in at number 8, and not just because they beat us, but they also beat.
I don't have the Nuggets.
They beat the Warriors.
Because I kept Cleveland in there.
Yeah.
But I put them at 10.
The Nuggets are, I don't know. They're one of those teams. Paul Millsap's going to be back soon. And they were looking solid beforehand. I don't think they're a team that can really, I don't know if they can challenge Golden State or Houston in a 7-game series, but man, I don't know. They might be able to make something happen.
I bumped the Thunder down to number 9. I think I had them in my top 5 last week.
I also dropped them to number 9. So I mean that's fair. That's just kind of what happens.
Hey, at least they're in the top 10, right? Because there's been times this year when they haven't.
There were several weeks. There was like a month there where we didn't have them in there. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Hear another word from our sponsors. When we get back, we will cover the next week in games, our weekly forecast, and then we're going to scoot out of here. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors for here at Crossover Radio with a Purpose. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening in, whatever you're doing, watching, listening. We're doing this for you guys, for the fans. All glory to God, obviously. So, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Let's see. Let's get that cue up and going. Got that right there. All right. If you're still watching on YouTube, make sure you give us a follow at the Thunder Guys over on Twitter, Instagram. Give us a like on Facebook. Stay tuned. Don't miss a thing.
And I
don't wanna mess a thing. Oh, I just realized I still have our group chat muted, dude. Because you guys were blowing up yesterday. I was trying to watch a movie. I watched that new Cloverfield.
Oh, yeah. Is it
Cloverfield
good?
Paradox got terrible ratings from critics, but I actually really liked it. If you're a fan of the series, I love the Cloverfield movies.
What were we talking about? Were we talking about the...
Childish Gambino,
Yeah.
the rap.
Yeah. So disappointed that was somebody
Thought it was
trying
fake,
to
I
sound
guess.
like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the dude, did you listen to it?
No, I didn't. I
Oh,
didn't get a
it
chance. I
sounded
forgot.
just like him. I mean, you could tell the voice is a little bit different, but he did the ad-libs perfectly. His little crazy things that Gambino throws in there.
I'll
Like,
have to go back and watch it. Did you hear about Kendrick Perkins? I guess he's finally hanging it up. I guess supposedly there's some NBA teams that might be looking at him after the trade deadline, but he's did you know that he was still playing?
no, I
in
knew
the
he was in the
yeah.
G League for
But I guess
Cleveland.
he's done with that. But man, let's bring him in as a coach.
Yeah.
Put him on the bench.
Wasn't that last year that there was rumors that he was... Because he, like, came to a game and then said, I'll see you guys next week or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. So, almost done with this commercial break. I'm going to jump right back in.
All we have left is the week ahead, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Talking about some weekly forecast. I don't know
We're
what
all
that
about
was.
the singing the tunes today.
Yeah, I'm ready for this. Welcome back, crossover radio listeners, YouTube stream watchers. We are Zack and Craig. We are the Thunder Guys. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Thunder Things with the Thunder Guys. It's been a long hour and some odd minutes, but it's been good. It's been fun. Maybe someday we'll have our own laboratory.
Laboratory. Our own
Station.
laboratory with
our fortress.
with
Command center.
with an intern.
With a couple interns. We could each get our own intern.
That'd be tight.
That would be living large. We're going to jump in. We're going to cover this next week. We've got not quite as packed as it has been in the past. And honestly, I'm looking at the schedule, and I feel a little relieved because I see some sun breaking through them clouds, Craig. We played the Golden State Warriors tonight, which is scary. I have not. Have you taken a look at the line?
It's scary. No. What is it, double digits?
Let's have a quick look-see, shall we? I would not be so. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna throw out 8. What do you think?
11 and a half.
11. Oh gosh. Oh.
What is it?
It's 10. That's not good.
I was closer.
You were closer. Barely. But here is a quick stat for you. Did you know that the Thunder has only been the underdog 5 games this season?
Really?
And in those 5 games, do you know what our record is?
5-0?
4-1.
Ah.
The only one that we lost was, I think it was the most recent one to Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
4-1.
I remember that.
We were underdogs, and I was looking at some of the teams, and I was kind of blown away. I'm trying to remember who it was off the top of my head. Maybe I can pull it off.
Had to have been Golden State. Oh, it was Cleveland.
Cleveland, Golden State, Philadelphia when we played the 76ers. Maybe that was like during our losing streak or something. I don't even know. Anyways, I think the other one might have been like a Denver game or something. Boston. No, not Boston. I don't know. Anyways, point being, it's scary going into tonight.
Very scary.
I'm seeing some stuff on Twitter, and I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know anybody that has us pegged to win this game. Like literally not a chance.
I think one or two things are going to happen. This is either going to spark the rest of the season heading into the All-Star break,
Okay.
or we're going to get destroyed and we'll be on the 5-game losing streak.
Also think 2 things are going to happen. We are either going to win or we are going to lose.
Are we going to need to score more points than them tonight to win?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton, but if we score more points than the Warriors do, then I think we'll be looking pretty dang good. The numbers that scare me the most, since I'm looking at some Warriors stats here in front of me, they average, did you know they average 1,766,332 points per game? That's not true. I made that up. But it feels like it. They average, I think it's like 116. It's 115 points. I don't know. I did the game preview today. You know I do those. So, and I look at these stats.
It's ridiculous.
But I'm not. I'm scared. Craig, I'm scared.
I'm not really scared. I'm just kind of like, I don't care at this point.
I care.
Like, no, like
They average 115.6 points. Here's a number that blows me away. From the field, from the floor, They make 50.9% of their shots. If we get a couple guys to shoot 50%, I'm on a high. They shoot 39.3% from 3.
What I meant about not caring was that I would not be surprised if we got destroyed, and then at the same time I won't be surprised if we come out and win because I think we're capable of winning.
I'd like to see that.
I just kind of
An
at this point of the season where it's.
I texted you this yesterday. The Warriors have lost 6 games at home this year already, and that's more than they've. Did I say win? They've lost.
They've
lost 6 games at home this year. That is more than they've lost in any single season for the last 3 seasons. 3 years ago, they lost 5. 2 years ago, they lost 1. That was when they won that incredible 73 games in a season. And last season, they lost 5. So they've not lost 6 games at home since whatever that year before those 3 years was. And they've already done it. And there's still another 20-some-odd games left. So,
do you know what is discouraging?
Games, what's that?
They're 11-0 after a loss this season.
Oh, no. We suck again. Yeah, that's scary. Okay.
So wait,
but that was on the road.
So I said they've got all these games at home leading into the All-Star break. Are you kidding me? Oh no, they've got one on the road at Portland right before.
So yeah,
I was gonna say, my goodness, that's what a homestand there.
I think, you know what? I'm gonna call it a toss-up. Either we win or we get blown out.
No in between.
Okay.
If we don't beat the Lakers.
I'm going to quit basketball.
The Thunder guys are retiring.
The Thunder guys will be the Thunder blank. Fill in. Someone can come.
Someone can take
someone
over.
Can buy us out.
Someone can buy our followers.
$8,000.
Right?
Huh?
Do you know that's a thing? People buy Twitter accounts that already have a bunch of followers to transition their thing into
pathetic.
It. Yeah. So if anybody wants to buy our 3,000 followers,
yo, give us a shout. Give us a real number.
We're considering it.
We will deuce out so fast. No, not really. We've worked hard, man. Whenever I first jumped on board, I don't even think we'd hit 1,000 followers yet.
I think we did. I'm fairly certain I had built up 1,000.
Did you?
I think so.
I thought it was in the. It was barely. I thought I tried to slide in right before the
I like to think that I was at 1,000 on my own.
All right.
And then together we brought in the next 2,000.
That's fair. The Lakers on Thursday, another 9:30 game. It's another one on TNT. So tune your cable boxes and/or other forms of television accordingly. We should beat them this time.
We should.
We should have beat them on Sunday.
Is this the last time we played them this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're 2-1 against them.
Yeah. We don't want to go even on the
Lonzo
season
Ball
series
might make his first debut against the Thunder. He don't want none of Russell Westbrook, but I hope he does.
I do too.
And that moves us to Memphis on Sunday.
That's a home game, right?
Wait, Saturday? Sunday? What day is that? The 11th. 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's Sunday. So yeah,
that's a home game.
I'm looking at their starting lineup, and I don't know these dudes. Okay.
I know Andrew Harrison. He played at Kentucky.
Okay, I know Wayne Selden Jr. because he was at Kansas. His uncle was always losing his mind anytime he dunked the ball. But besides that, Mark Gasol, obviously. But they've had so many injuries.
Andrew Harrison was the dude who last year came in to T-Delph and was eating a large cheesesteak, and I was like, dude, you're playing a basketball game?
Yeah.
Would not recommend eating a large cheesesteak and a milkshake the night before playing in an NBA game. But he did it.
Right.
I think they beat us too.
But yeah. Well, so, what do you see for the week?
2-1.
2-1. That's realistic. If we go 2-1, I'm not gonna say I'm ecstatic. If we go 2-1 and we compete with the Warriors, no such thing as moral victories. We don't play that game, but that will still make me feel better about where we're at. I
think the Warriors it's gonna be the loss. I'm gonna cheer my heart out tonight. I'm gonna get a little crazy.
I'll be real honest. I want to stay awake.
Twitter's gonna get a little weird.
I will be there.
I'm all about getting weird.
I'll show up. I'll be there.
I sent out a tweet on Friday night. It was like, it's Friday night. Let's get weird. And only 2 people liked it. And I was like, come on.
What?
I know.
A bunch of
That's a good.
mouth breathers.
I was so happy about that because I thought about it like hours before tip-off, and I was like, that's going to be my first tweet of the night. And then it didn't work out for me.
Not a good reception. 2-1.
It's the ones where you, like, try too hard to get retweets and stuff that nothing. When you don't
All right,
try.
let me delete that and try that again
Somehow
later.
you get, like, 100 favorites and 30 retweets on,
we
like...
were talking about, like, I don't know, diarrhea, and people are liking...
For me, it was, what was that Taquitos tweet I had?
That's great.
Yeah.
2-1 would be odd. If we go 3-0,
yeah.
we're winning the finals.
We are, for sure.
Back to back.
If we go 3-0, our show next week will be really fun. Our shows are always fun.
It's always going to be fun, but especially
3-0 is easier to do after going 0-4 like this week.
For sure.
But we did it.
So, anyways, All right.
Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, man. I think we're about set.
What are we gonna do for the next 2.5 hours before tip off? PUBG?
Bro.
You wanna play PUBG?
Let's hit it up on some PUBG.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks again, Thunder fans, Crossover Radio listeners, for tuning in, for watching us on YouTube. Whatever you do tonight, be safe, thunder up, and we will catch you next week.
See ya.
Deuces.